head of training for Tribe Water Sports here in Watamu. We are primarily a kite surfing school, but also specialise in stand-up paddleboarding. We also offer wakeboarding and water skiing tuition, and do excursions for a number of different activities. A signature experience for golden safaris, which we do on stand-up paddleboards, and have been operating since 2012. So I was really lucky to grow up here in Watamu. My family moved to Kenya when I was 3 years old, and I've always known that Watamu is a very special place, particularly when it comes to water sports provision. We're really lucky in the sense that we have very good conditions for a range of water sports activities, and also it's a very safe place to practice these activities as well. Having an organisation or a business such as ours that operates to a high safety standard also always backs up the fact that the operation of water sports in this area is safe to do. We offer a rescue service with all the activities that we have, so we have a boat that can pick you up if you're ever in an emergency. We're always on the phone if need be, if you need some assistance. It was sort of knowing that Watamu was here and so undiscovered as a location that I knew that one day when I grew up that I wanted to come and start my own water sports business here. So as I said already, like kite surfing is our main activity that we offer. It's one of the biggest water sports out there, and the key selling point for that activity is the conditions. The conditions have to be great for it to be a success. And with Watamu being such a great place to do that activity, so let me talk you through why Watamu is so good for that. We have 2 seasons in 1 year. Most destinations only have 1. So we have a northeasterly trade wind that blows from December till March, that's known as Kaskazi, and that wind will consistently blow from the northeast, which is what we're enjoying here today. You can see all the kite surfers out here behind us enjoying that northeasterly breeze. That will run until March, maybe into end of March, maybe into April, and then come May the wind starts to swing and we get an easterly breeze, a very light breeze, which isn't great for kite surfing, and that's when we take advantage of some of the other water sports that we offer. And then come early June, the wind will come from the southeast, so the wind will actually come as if it's blowing towards me now, and the wind changes direction. It blows from that direction all the way through to October, where we again, and then to the end of October, then November it dies off again, swings to the middle, and it bounces back to the northeast. So having such a long season throughout the year really means that Watamu is such a fantastic place to come and kite surf, and that's really why we've had such a success with what we've been doing here in Watamu. Not only that, we're very protected. I mean, I've already talked about how safe it is as a place, but one of the key reasons for it being such a safe place is we have a reef. Now, it's not very visible today because there's not any waves out there, but we have a reef that runs the whole way down the coastline of Kenya. And what that creates is a nice sheltered lagoon on the inside of the reef, meaning that the water's nice and flat, it's nice and calm, it never gets very rough inside the reef, again making it that much of a safe destination. Now once we establish and we put in our marketing skills into the equation and we put Watamu on the map as a kite surfing destination, you can see even here today we've got 30-40 kite surfers on the water here in Watamu. 5 years ago we'd have 10. So you can see that now that the destination's been advertised properly and the correct safety provisions have been put in place that people feel secure, we've developed a marketplace that didn't exist. As I said, the primary factor when it comes to delivering these services, you've got to have the conditions, and that's what Kenya delivers, particularly Watamu as a kite surfing destination. Yeah, so I mean, particularly locally within the Watamu area, and then also countrywide, what we would say bums in beds, more bed nights in Watamu. You know, we went through a stage in tourism, particularly along the coastline, where we were seeing a massive decline in the number of people coming to stay. The majority of our tourists were getting older and retiring and then becoming too old to get here. The charter flight package holiday type of clientele. By creating a new marketplace for young up-and-coming millennials means that those hotels that were struggling in the past now have a new market for their beds. So it's definitely increased the bed nights here in Watamu and across the country. With the growth of kite surfing here in Watamu, we've also seen schools opening up in Kilifi, in Nyali, down in Diani. There's been schools for many years as well also. And with the growth of the sport along the coastline, it's revitalizing what was a declining tourism industry. The knock-on effect that then for locally is more jobs for local residents, and then on the small scale, because the businesses, even though we're catering for a few people, are still quite small in the grand scheme of things. It does mean that we're able to provide jobs to locals as well. Also, be it from the basic operations from cleaners up to training locals to how to kite surf and deliver lessons for people. So challenges we've experienced so far. What have we experienced so far, challenge-wise? It's not been too difficult, I have to say. We've been quite lucky, as I keep coming back to that point, that we have the conditions. It was an untapped marketplace. Where we would like to see things to be a little bit easier would be to establish maybe a kite surfing or water sports association where we're then able to give certification to instructors in the country. One of the problems we have, although we're training up our local staff to be able to teach kite surfing, from an insurance perspective we can't qualify them because we don't have a national governing body for our sport. We've looked into it, we've inquired, we've tried, and it seems to be a very difficult process to be able to set up these associations, particularly for smaller activities such as kite surfing. So that is one of the big hurdles we have, is that we're having to spend a lot of money hiring foreign trained staff, and primarily that only becomes because of an insurance perspective. It is something that even now we're currently working on. We've just started working with a new body that may be able to come in and deliver these courses for us, so that's something we're working on in the next couple of years, but at the moment we're having to spend a lot of money in hiring international qualified staff and bring them in for the season, which requires us to buy permits for them as well to be able to work here, and adds cost and also takes away the ability for Kenyans to be able to be doing the jobs themselves also. So that's probably our main challenge that we have currently. Culturally, Kenyans haven't really been into water sports. I mean, it's something you can see straight away on the beach now. There aren't really any Kenyans enjoying the water today out here in front of us. Now, when you look at kite surfing in particular, you're talking the pinnacle of action when it comes to water sports. It's probably the most difficult one to master. So unless you have full confidence in the water and you've done a lot of water sports before, it's the last tick on the list in terms of your ability. So in order to combat that, what I actually did last year is I set up another company in Nairobi, which is called Magic. And Magic is there to, my sort of mindset behind developing that company was to develop a water sports facility which focused on developing Kenyans' confidence on getting in the water. So we start with the most basic of water sports activities, which is an aqua park. It's a big playground on the water that gets you used to jumping around, sliding around, swinging around, getting your head in the water, and getting some confidence just, rather than just swimming, but actually being active and doing something a bit more adventurous in water. We then also offer stand-up paddling, just like we do here in Watamu, in Nairobi. So you can go and do classes in Nairobi, and then when you come to the coast, you can actually enjoy the activity even more when you're more competent at it down here on the coast. And so what we're trying to build is a structure where people can then graduate from one activity to the next activity to the next activity. So hopefully one day you'll come back here and interview me in 5 years' time, and we'll have a lot more Kenyans enjoying this activity. It's their country and we have the perfect conditions for them to enjoy it. We just need to get them to the confidence level that they can actually come and learn. And so that's the focus with what we have at Magic, which we've already talked about, that we'll hopefully have more information on for you in the next episodes. And we can show you exactly what's happening on the ground there in Nairobi. So Magic is based at the waterfront in Karen. So the Waterfront Mall is a new development that's just opened up last year, and hosts numerous different businesses. Sort of more famously is a ShopRite in Game, and they've also got a CJ's there. So it's a new mall that's opened up in Karen on the corner of Langata and Karen Road there, and they have a 3.5 acre man-made lake that's chlorinated and managed, and we have our water sports facility inside that lake.